This is the fourth hour.
888-727-BECK. A lot of stuff from the elections last night we didn't get to. We talked about Lugar losing, and I guess he is now not attending a post-election Indiana GOP unity rally, which is not a surprise. So these guys
Indiana
don't like
wants
losing.
him, but
I don't know.
ooh, he can't go back there.
No, I could. He really.
You know what? If a man ever needed dying, he did.
Oh, well, see,
the
that's
guy
a
that
threat.
Lugar killed.
Do you see this?
No, the guy that
Lugar
killed
killed somebody.
Needed
Okay.
it. He had no right to say the things he did
Mm-hmm.
about her. So,
Yeah, okay, that's a good.
you know what I mean?
Good point. A couple other interesting results last night. Texas inmate, who I guess, I don't know, he's running on the West Virginia ballot somehow, but this is from the UK somewhere. Just how unpopular is President Obama in some parts of the country? Enough that a man in prison in Texas is getting 4 out of every 10 votes in West Virginia's Democratic presidential primary. The inmate, Keith Judd, is serving time at Beaumont Federal Correctional Institution in Texas for making threats at the University of New Mexico in 1999. But he still put $2,500 up and got a notarized certification announcement and was able to be on the ballot. Got 40% of the vote against Obama. Only got 60%.
That is unbelievable.
Of Democrats, by the way. This is not a Republican thing. Where they're like, okay, some people are voting for him because they just can't stand Obama because they're Democrats or whatever. 40% of Democrats voted for the inmate against President Obama. Now, normal rules would say that if you get 15% of the vote, you would get a delegate. So he got 40. So he should get multiple delegates to go to this inmate.
Yeah.
Of course, I would assume that they're just going to break the rules because that's what Democrats do when they don't like results. So I would assume that's what's going to happen. Over in North Carolina, an interesting result as North Carolina's gay marriage ban. I don't like using that word, as we'll discuss here in a second, because it's kind of weird. But this one was, and we've pointed this out before. Every time a gay marriage ban has been put up in a state, it has passed every single time, including California. Now, when you go beyond that and you say gay marriage ban and never a civil union, that has lost in places. Arizona voted that down a while ago. I think it was Arizona. So this one in North Carolina had that language in it and still passed by a significant margin. It banned civil unions and everything else. I guess they already had a law in. Now it's a constitutional amendment about gay marriage. I thought this was an interesting perspective, though. This is from National Review. A Fox News headline reads, North Carolina voters take up amendment banning gay marriage. So what's the problem with that? Framing. This is from yesterday. But today's vote in North Carolina is not about banning anything. Nothing will be made illegal as a result. In all 50 states across the nation, 2 people of the same sex can live together, have their religious community bless their union, and have their workplace offer them various joint benefits if the religious communities and workplaces in question so desire. Many liberal houses of worship and progressive businesses have voluntarily decided to do so. There's nothing illegal about this. There's no ban on it. What's at issue is whether the government will recognize such unions as marriages and then force every citizen and business to do so as well. This isn't a legalization of something. This is a coercion and compulsion of others to recognize and affirm same-sex unions as marriages. And this goes on to say this isn't really about civil rights or civil liberties. No one is suggesting the state deny people who self-identify as gay or lesbian their rights to free speech, religious liberty, free association, or any other traditional civil liberty. The question is whether a new civil right, the right to have the government and private citizens recognize your same-sex union as a marriage, ought to be created, redefining marriage in the process. That was interesting because calling it a same-sex marriage ban is kind of inaccurate if it's not already legal. You would ban alcohol when it was legal with prohibition. You're not banning something that doesn't exist. It's hard to do that because it hasn't been created as a right yet. So National Review arguing that we're looking at that the wrong way. But that's a pretty stringent one. I mean, saying that it's against the Constitution to go up even with civil unions is farther. The majority of Republicans now approve of civil unions. So that one goes pretty far. It doesn't always pass, but is now North Carolina was the last state in the South that did not have a gay marriage ban, for lack of a better phrasing, and they do now.
Shows you how hateful they are. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
That's all you can say.
Haters. Why do they hate people?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you care? What's it to you? How does it hurt you if two people in love get married? How does that hurt you in any way? How?
You'd have to ask
Can you
people in North
explain that to
Carolina
me?
that. Only people in North Carolina can answer that. Those
Jeffy,
haters.
can you explain it to me?
No, and
No.
stop speaking Indian to me.
If I'm asexual, how does that affect you in any way? What if I don't want to have sex with anything or anyone? What if I just don't want to have sex? And I define myself that way.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get married to someone?
I think.
Where's the asexual lobby? Why are you
I think you can.
asexual phobic?
What about the
Why?
What about the pansexual lobby?
The pansexual, the sex with everything and everyone. Why not? What's
I don't
wrong
know.
with that?
I don't know. Listen, these are questions.
Pansexual or asexual? I say we start fighting for those rights.
These are above my pay grade, Pat. That's all I can say. I'm
Yeah.
voting present, and I'm just my views are evolving.
Are
on
they?
the issue?
Which
Yeah,
means they're changing?
No. No. Why would you
exactly
say
what
that?
happened.
Why
That's
would you say
exactly
that?
what happened.
That is crazy. Why would you say they're evolving? I'm
Well, because
changing.
you said evolution.
Right, and I'm
so-
saying they're evolving.
Right. But isn't that kind of
No,
no?
it's not
That's
changing.
not the same, really?
You know the word changing?
Yeah.
I would have used the word changing if I wanted to say
Oh, you
changing.
would have said that?
What I said was
You would-
evolving.
Evolving. So what did you mean by evolving, if I might be so bold
I
as to
meant
ask?
to evolve to
Yes,
go
by
through the
evolve, that means...
evolution process.
Yeah, the
Okay, now
evolutionary
you
process
understand.
means
So
that...
we can move on.
All right.
Because I don't want to answer any of your questions because any way I answer it, I seem as bad.
Yes.
So I'm going to just
Mm-hmm.
say evolving, and I'm going to run. One of my main planks of my candidacy, Pat, is I
Look,
got no
you're not
friggin'
a-
idea.
You're not a Darwin expert.
No, I'm
Am
not.
I right?
No, am I
Are you what? Are you a Darwinian
No.
expert? No.
No.
So,
but-
why would you explain evolution to someone?
Right. I don't. You should know what the word evolve means.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be the one who teaches that to you. I'm just
I mean,
saying.
if I'm so stupid, I don't know that I have to ask you what evolution means.
You're never going to get it anyway.
right.
All right. I had a long conversation with one of my friends who leans left, and we were talking about this. I'm like, this is absolutely inexcusable by the president to come out to one of his, an important, contingency of an important sect of voters and say, "Hey guys, the issue that's most important to you? Just want to let you know." I am not going to address it, and I'm just going to say my mind isn't made up.
Absolutely despicable.
I've never seen anything like it.
to use that excuse that my position is evolving. Well, what does that mean? What do you mean you're evolving?
Yeah.
Okay, does that mean that you are announcing that you are for gay marriage? No, that means that I have a position which has always been friendly to the homosexual lobby. Well, what do you mean? So now you're for gay marriage? What I'm saying is my position on that is evolving. So I'm not saying I'm for it because if I say that, then the more conservative voters will not want to vote for me. If I say I am against it, then those who are for it are going to be against me.
Right.
So when I say I'm evolving, that pleases everyone.
Exactly. And this is where we kind of came down to.
Unbelievable.
Because my argument was, look,
It's despicable.
if you're President Obama, be honest with the American people.
Yeah, man
and come
up.
out and just say, look, yeah, I'm for it. You know what?
Man up.
Listen to this. This is some of the things. First of all, he almost surely does support it. He's just not admitting it. Number two, the polling on it is actually pretty good these days. The majority of people now believe that it should be legalized. Now that is from 2004, I believe it was. Do I have this chart still up? Because I was planning on maybe bringing this up the other day, and I don't know if we ever got to it. I closed it out. But it was 2004. They did a poll on it. It was something like 62-30 against in 2004. Against 2009, I think it was 42 against 54 or something like that. Sorry, the other way around. 50 against 42-4, and now that's reversed to something like 54 and 45 against. So you actually have support now of the American people in a polling sense that actually want this thing approved. Even the majority of Republicans now support civil unions. You have enough time between now and the election that you could probably do this, have the flare-ups, everyone gets upset, everyone talks about it for a couple months, and likely by the time you get to the election, it's not going to be the main issue, but you do distract away from the economy for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
right? Just politically speaking.
Which is good for him.
Yeah. And also, the evolving thing is absolutely horrible. It's
despicable.
It's untenable. You cannot stay there.
And
You've
yet
got to do something.
His supporters on MSNBC accepted it wholeheartedly. Here's Chris Matthews last night.
As we cover this story, the president's thinking, right? He's evolving. Right. He'll be evolving all night long, probably to use his phrase. It'll be so interesting to see where he ends up. At least the Democrats believe in evolution. How's that for them, at least?
No, they don't. They don't even believe. They don't even know what evolution means. Because evolution, if you're evolving in your frame of mind, you're changing. You're coming to a different place. Mm-hmm. You've adapted to your new surroundings. That's what happens when you evolve. And for him to accept that excuse from Barack Obama is unbelievable to me. That is unbelievable.
That just shows how much of the tank they are. I mean, they're not even. It's Debbie Wasserman Schultz-esque.
I mean, because that's total cowardice.
Because this is, and I think even a guy like maybe even Olbermann would probably, if he had a job and could stay at a network for more than 2 weeks, he would come out.
That was funny.
Imagine that.
Did you get that joke about Olbermann? If he had a job and could stay somewhere.
Wait, what do you mean?
It's so funny to think that's possible.
Oh, I'm saying in the world where career gravity doesn't exist.
It's possible for a buffoon like Keith Olbermann to keep a job. Yes.
But I think he might come out even, maybe, and say
against the president on that,
and say, "Hey, that gay marriage should be legal."
Come on, man
like
up.
I think he'd say be more liberal.
Somebody is actually saying that. Who was it that said "man up" and and explain your position on gay marriage? I was just reading it on some website. Some liberal is saying, "Look, Mr. Obama, man up and tell us where you stand." Yeah. And he should. I agree with that.
And so, but the guy I was talking to basically made the argument. And sort of made, not necessarily saying that he was doing this, but saying that in theory, you have a guy who knows that if he makes gay marriage into an issue, right? If he says I'm for it, it's going to become a gigantic issue, and then he won't be able to get his other stuff through. His don't ask, don't tell. His benefits for gays. His other more minor agenda items.
Baloney.
To me, you got to take a stand. You're the president of the United States. You don't get the opportunity to sit back there and not take a stand on something like that.
And that's exactly what former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell said to Obama.
Yes.
Oh, Rendell, yeah.
Ed Rendell is saying that. Yeah, and it's a good point. I think.
Make your freaking stand. You're in the big leagues, buddy. This is not freaking state senator in Illinois where maybe people don't care. You're the freaking president of the United States.
Yeah,
you got to come out and have some opinion on this.
Yeah. Speaking of Chris Matthews.